repeat the question. It was, how do you gauge the 5 and the 15-minute time frames, and how do you weigh them when they disagree with each other? So when we're looking at our time frames, the smaller your time frame is, the quicker your scope. So what that basically means is the smaller time frame you look at, the less long-term impact that signal is going to have on your price action. So if you're going to look at a 1 hour signal and it's telling you it's going to go up, and your 1 minute is telling you the price is going to go down, what's going to happen is you're going to have a short-term retrace with a long-term uptrend, because your 1 hour is looking at a much wider scope than your 1 minute time frame. So how do you do this? The way that you want to cue this up, let's say the 5 minute, for example, we got asked about the 5 and the 15, so we're going to talk about the 5 and the 15. The 5 minute is going to be quicker to act than the 15, but because they're so close together, it might take your 15 a little bit of time to catch up to your 5 minute. Now, there's things that can happen, and I see this happen a lot, and this is how traders get faked out, is because what will happen is the 5 minute will start in its direction, and then it will momentarily go flat or even go in the opposite direction as the 15 sets up to come down. So I don't think this happens in this trade, but it does happen in another one. Yes, I believe. We're gonna go to our other trade over in this area right here. So the way that this happens, and we can see this back in this example. So what happens is the 5 minute comes through, and this is how I got faked out of the trade. This is actually gonna be a really good way of me teeing up how to explain this. So 5 minute crosses over. We need both of our, there we go. And then we're gonna go 5 and 15 minutes. So as we can see, set this up. So 15 minutes coming into cross. I need the crosshairs on so you guys can see this. So the way you guys wanna look at this is you can see both my cursors are matched on each chart. So you can actually see them cross from each other. So 15 minutes crossed, and you can see both the 5 minute and the 15 are crossed in the same instance. Hold on, am I rocking 2 5s? Yes, I am. So I was like, they look exactly the same. Let's go back. Okay, so as the 15 crosses, right, we want to look for those crosses early on. So we got this cross here, and the 15 was crossed, and the 5 minute was crossing at the same time. Now, one of the things I gambled on for the early entry, and this is where I messed up a little bit, was because I went pre the red dots on the 15 minute. So the 15 minute red dots didn't print until the 5 was no longer applicable to enter the trade. So I jumped the gun a little bit on my original entry. So this is why you got to wait for the 15. And because I thought it was smart, I did it a little bit too early, and it ended up like really, I missed out on a big trade because of it. And I'll explain why in a little bit here. So 5 crossed, but we didn't wait for the 15. So what happened was the 5 wasn't strong enough to turn the 15 at a quick enough rate for that trade to continue to play. So we ended up retracing above our entry point. And then once the 15 printed down again, once it solidified that drop, then we were actually able to get into the position that we needed to get this massive move down. So primarily what you want to do is you want to look at your higher time frames for your entry. So if you're trading on the 5 and the 15, watch the 15 and then confirm on the 5. Because what might happen to you sometimes, and again, guys have been doing this for like 10 years-ish now, and like this is what happens when you get in too early, and it still happens to me sometimes because that's just the way that indicators present themselves. Indicators are lagging, so you have to sometimes anticipate where they're going to go before they actually get there. So that's one of the clips that we filmed.